What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MulletCast, the podcast where business and pleasure collide. My name is Evan Balmer. Follow me on Instagram at Evan Balmer. Today we are joined by Waiting on Mongo. Waiting on Mongo is an award-winning funk band from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Check them out online at mongo.band and on Instagram at Waiting on Mongo. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
How y'all doing? So I've been like trying not to talk about it since we got here because like it is pretty funny. Is like I originally reached out to your band email address, and I guess it was Mike. That do you run that usually, or is it kind of like a free for all? Whoever gets
It's a
it.
group effort,
So,
whoever, gets into it first.
I threw out the thing like we've been thinking about having a live band in the podcast studio, and really like I always aim high, so I'm like thinking like because Ming said too, he's like I really want to get a band in here because we've had like some acoustic guys, and girls like singing, but just like mellow. And I'm like, dude, the best band to get in here would be like Waiting on Mongo would be sick. Like I envisioned this crazy dance party in here and stuff. And so we were lining it up, and you're like, yeah, the dates are cool. And then you wrote me back, you're like, oh man, I didn't realize. Are you expecting us to play?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he texted us this week. He was like, oh, yeah, I read the message wrong, and we're actually supposed to play that.
And I was like, oh, damn, man. This is all going to fall apart. And then you're like, all right, well, let me see, what we can do. And I'm glad to see you rolled in with, like, a shitload of instruments. So that's pretty killer.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think we usually, we make it work
All
somehow.
right. You can improvise a little.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. So the other thing I did wrong in this whole thing is like my kryptonite is like I can't remember names for shit. Like I meet someone and it's like right out of the back of my head. And now I picked the band with like 6 or 7 members. So like the odds of me remembering everyone, I kind of got like a lot of it. I mean, I'll throw out your names so everyone knows who's here. We got a couple mics. We got 2 mics. We got TJ. We got Matt. We got Anders. And Johnny's here. Bruce is not here. He's got another gig somewhere.
Yes.
So, who wants to tell us the story of how like Mongo all got together? I think you guys have been together for like 6 or 7 years, right? How did it all begin?
You wanna kick it off?
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah. The first iteration of the group was just the 4 of us. My brother Matt would play drums. TJ would come over. Mike would show up. We also had another bassist that is no longer with us, obviously, but it was just like a family band sort of thing at the beginning. We would just learn covers, try and make up our own stuff, and then we finally got to the point where we played at the Norwood Inn, which was a block from my house down the street in Avon by the Sea.
Right.
It's not there anymore, but it was just the local bar, and we got up there. It was like Wednesday nights, like half the crowd wasn't even like of drinking age, but like we still like got it done somehow,
Right.
Without getting everybody kicked out.
Well, Mongo, you're missing the part about how we were actually waiting on you for that gig.
Yeah.
You skipped over a couple bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have.
The origin
We were
story.
Feel free to
actually
chime
waiting
in.
on him, the first gig.
Mongo, so the first, run with the band, we actually all played like different instruments than we play right now.
Right?
So I came in as a bass player, TJ was a guitar player, Mongo was a guitar player, Matt was always the drummer, but
Nice.
so
Tony
Mongo was
Constant.
playing guitar on his first gig, and probably I don't know 35 seconds before we were supposed to start, he realized that he had forgotten a guitar pick, and had.
I only live a block away from the.
so he had to
the
run
Norwood,
a block to grab a guitar pick.
Right?
And like another thing to note on that first show is we played one set of music 2 times through.
Did you really?
Yeah. We just got to a point where we were like, oh man, we really can't fill 4 hours at a time. So we did the same thing twice.
That's pretty sweet.
That
And
was
no
the
one seemed
first
to
one.
notice, miraculously, probably, right?
Yeah.
There in the beginning, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So not only do I have to remember 6 names, now you're telling me like 2 different sets of instruments you've all played. So like now I'm totally out of screwed. That's classic. So how did you like, where did you go from there? Like just keep playing regular gigs at the Norwood and
I think we
Yeah,
only did
we
like
did.
1 or 2 that summer, and then like
And then
that
we
was like
did PK Shamrocks, which is now was it Joe's Surf Shack.
yeah, we did a lot there because we knew the people who used to own it. It was Jack Cottrell's family, and TJ's really good friends with Jack, so
right.
that was also one of the first places we played.
I would say like the biggest like the tipping point of like what put it in the direction that it is now is like when we got our first gig at the Stone Pony.
Right.
So like we did our thing as like a 4-piece, and like we were whatever. We were like the kids that everybody knew that were like, oh, they're actually like in a band. And then we got a show at the Pony, and we played with Durs and John playing another band called Downstream.
Yeah.
And they were on the gig with us, and Anders just like ripped a saxophone solo, and then switched over and played guitar the whole time too. So we were like, "Whoa, this kid's like killer!"
Right.
And then he came in, and that's we asked him to jam with us like a couple of months later, and he brought a saxophone, and that was it.
That's cool.
That's what started the horns thing.
Nice. So what was the how'd the first Pony gig go with adding all that, the horns and everything?
Well, so we didn't add him into a live show thing until a little bit later on. So I don't when.
Yeah.
So what do you think that we opened for Splintered in the summer, and then we played with Durs for the first time, I think maybe the next spring?
Yeah, it was definitely like a little bit of time. Like TJ, because TJ, like at this point in time, like we were saying, like people were shuffling. Like we were still trying to figure out what our direction was. Like we hadn't really even covered too much jam stuff at that point. Like early on, we did like a Black Keys cover, Minor
really
Thing
more, like,
by the Red Hot.
rock.
Yeah, like we did
Right.
a lot of. Even did a Radiohead song.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, but we were starting to get into funkier stuff. Like we were into some electronic stuff, and Mongo got on the electric synth and all that. But we were like searching for a direction really, and then like getting Anders on board. Like once we brought him in, it was kind of like okay, like we kind of want to be like a funky. We knew we wanted to be like a fun band to see with
Right.
like energy, like because that's the bands that we like to go see. We like to go out with our friends and like see a high energy band that just brought us and everyone that night like to a level,
Right.
like so that's what we wanted to do. And we do we even have Andre? Oh, we were at Modown. That's like when we solidified what we wanted to do. This is also going back before we even. That was in December. This was like in August, like the end of a festival season, at the end of the summer, and we all went to Modown. We had like this.
2013.
Yeah, it was like this. We had a great time all weekend. We saw this other younger band, Aqueous, and they were doing it, and they've since blown up. But
Right.
we were like, oh my god, like this is all. Imagine if we could do it, get on a festival, and just play music, and like we had like a great weekend, obviously, and
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely what set us like out into the jam scene.
That gig
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, then we were starting to get like you said, we wanted to like
Getting into Mo, Humphreys McGee, bands like
groovier,
that.
all that. We all listen to that stuff kind of, but we're like, yeah, we can do that.
That's cool.
And then we got Anders in there, and then it was like
Save
we're
the
definitely
Yeah.
So having that like jam like background, how do you rehearse that type of stuff? How often are you guys playing together? Because a lot of it's like feel, right? Getting to know each other and just repetition of.
Yeah.
we played a lot of gigs together.
Yeah, I mean that's really what
Yeah.
it was. Is that for like the past, like up until like recently, for the past 3 years?
Yeah.
We all lived in a house together,
Right.
which was one thing. We definitely got to know each other. Plenty, living in a house with everybody. But no, I mean we rehearse at least once a week, and we kind of have our own little workflow. I mean, like we get in the room and usually some kind of improv jam breaks out, and then that kind of gets everybody warmed up, and then we just kind of go through and go over certain stuff, aspects of our songs and stuff like that.
Right.
We're in a very big trying to expand our original songs
Gotcha.
list right now, so that's usually what we're doing.
That's cool. So the house you lived in, could you guys rehearse there also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
That is
was
cool.
the cool thing about it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's out on a farm in Farmingdale. These guys still live there.
it's still the spot, and it's like, no one's gonna question you at 4 a.m. if you're
Yeah.
going off.
Right.
So it was the spot.
The first night they even unlocked the place for us when we signed the lease. We went in there. I think it was just the four of us. Went in, not even any furniture in the place or anything. We lugged our amps in, and
I think we had a wedding that weekend.
yeah, we were
too.
playing like somebody's engagement party like the next night or something, and we
Right.
rehearsed in that house with nothing in it until like 5 a.m.
Right.
The first night we were there.
That's
and
cool.
nobody ever said anything, and nobody's said anything since.
And have you done shows out there? Like have people come out?
We've to call them shows would be a bit of a stretch,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we've
Just
had
rehearsals
parties
with
out
friends.
there.
Yeah,
where we
that's cool.
Did some, yeah.
So I mean, for some bands, it's like hard to keep together like 4 people, and you guys have not only 7 people, but then you were living together. So how'd you survive all of that?
Well, two moved out.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. I like to think that we're like close enough friends that like we can kind of sort out what's what.
Right.
You know?
I mean, like you always argue with you. I'm not saying there's never been arguments.
Right.
Like everyone always, certain things might get overlooked, or someone's stepping on someone's toes, like, and sometimes things just need to be said,
Right.
It's no different than family life, though. Just like growing up with brothers and sisters, So it's like pretty. It was pretty easy. I mean, there was nothing going on that was going to get in the way of playing.
Right.
At the end of the day, so.
I mean, Matt and Mike are brothers. John and Durs are brothers.
That's right.
And we've all been friends since we were little kids.
Right.
Yeah.
We're on
We all have like a
growing
lot
up
of the same
together.
friends too. Like we,
Right.
I don't know, like we. Yeah,
So you're already
just-
like a family, basically.
Yeah.
We like to go out to shows together. That's how it all started. Like I said,
Really?
it started as us like going out to shows and just having a good
Yeah, we were
time.
Just
And
friends, yeah.
Right.
we were just screwing around at first, and like we were saying, like, oh, we can play covers. Oh, we play that jam from last time. Oh, we can play a gig. Oh, we got a simple. It's things just kind of like we
Kind of
just.
started spiraling out of control
Yeah.
as far as like all of a sudden it was just like a thing. It was
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you've definitely, I mean, you've expanded beyond like the Asbury area. You've had tours, running down to New Orleans, Charleston, up to Burlington, Vermont. So you're definitely, I mean, is it your live reputations, like the word's getting out about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's safe to say.
I mean,
Yeah.
we don't really have anything else besides that right now. It's
Yeah.
actually what we're
We
like
have,
trying to
like,
work
trying to
on.
work
Yeah.
on it.
It's,
So
it's
you
gotten us pretty far, but we're at a point now where we're like
You gotta put something out.
really put
Right.
Yeah.
So you do have an EP out. You got Just a Taste. I mean, that's on like iTunes, Apple Music,
Yeah, all streaming
Spotify,
services,
everywhere. So definitely people check that out. So what's your time frame for recording some new stuff?
We have some already.
Oh, you do?
Actually, yeah. It's
It's almost ready. It's very close.
yeah.
Just
So
cooking a
as a
little
matter of
bit.
fact, it's about to get sent out to be mastered, like
No way.
probably tomorrow.
Oh, that's killer. So where'd you record?
We recorded with our buddy LJ,
Mm-hmm.
who is a sound engineer at the Starland Ballroom, which you talked with about
Right.
with Jeff. He's a longtime friend of Anders. We kind of just met him, but as soon as we met him, we knew that it was going to work, I think.
Right.
It's a really funny relationship that we have with this dude, because
Yeah.
he's a very funny dude, but it came out cool. Like, this is the most proud we've ever been of any studio work that we've done.
Really?
Yeah.
The first time we went in the studio, we were kind of
we were green
amateurs
to
at
it.
that. Yeah, we
Right.
were very, very amateur. And like we were still working on some things. So like just as getting better at our instruments, like
Right.
like we were still working on some stuff. Like
Yeah, like this was the first time that I personally went
had
into
ever
this.
played a click. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
like-
a lot of musicians, I feel like that does happen.
Yeah, like
sometimes.
when you get into the studio, you have to play to a click tracks. Like
Right.
everything's like perfectly in time. Like we had never done that before.
we had,
like,
we had to like spread. We had to like actually like. We jammed a lot of our songs. We knew what they were, but we had to actually like hash out
set
what
down
they were going to
Yeah.
be.
rotations.
So, like, oh, we're doing this, like every so the song's this set. Like we had never really like constricted ourselves in that way because
Right.
we'd been a live band at that
Right.
point.
And like even that time when we did it last time, we like made it work, but this time we just did it like so much better.
Right.
And for the first time, like we did a good job, but
Oh,
like
my
it's
one-
the first
my
time
one
I ever
song was
wrote a
one
guitar
take.
solo, like anything like that,
Right.
Yeah, like Matt was just like ripping his takes and just like, all right, that sounds good, let's use it. Like,
Right.
so we were like felt pretty pro about this one. I think
That's
people are
cool.
gonna like it a lot.
I mean, I guess that's always a challenge for like a live bass band or like a jam band or an improv band is like how it translates in the studio, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like, so I don't know, like we never really focused on like studio stuff, and it was tough for us because they don't really want to play anything on the radio that's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And our, like one of the songs that we recorded, like when we play it live, it generally runs between 15 and 20 minutes.
That's cool.
So like we had to sit down and figure out like, all right, out of this thing that we all think is totally awesome the way it is, what are we going to take out of this to be able to even make it like listenable to somebody?
Right.
You know, like most people aren't going to like throw in a CD and be like, all right, let me listen to this 15-minute opening song. So, but we made it work.
That's cool.
It's cool. It's good. It's really good stuff. The dude did an amazing job on it.
That's sweet. When do you think that'll come out? So if it's being mastered now, you got a release date in mind?
Release dates are tough. I mean, we're really only, so we did 3 songs. We're gonna release them more than likely one at a time as singles. You know, hopefully to an album. You know, alluding to an album coming up soon.
Right.
We don't have like any kind of release dates for an album yet, but we have these 3 songs done. We have a ton of new material that we've been working on. So
that's cool.
We should have something coming out pretty soon. As far as like the first single, definitely be on the lookout. It should be coming out very soon. Cool.
Because you're headlining House of Independence November 8th. Is it going to be out in time for that, you think?
Yeah.
That's coming up quick.
Yeah, no, probably not by the 8th itself, but definitely right around there. I don't see why not. I mean,
cool.
It's in the final step, yeah. Grab some t-shirts and stickers, though, if you want to come buy some stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, you guys headline a lot of places. How's that feel to, like, have grown up to that, you know, that level?
Yeah, it's awesome to have finally taken it to the point where we can, like, sell out the Wonder Bar, like, almost consistently. It's definitely an accomplishment, I feel like.
Yeah, it's badass. Any plans for tours? I know in December you'll be in New York at Rockwood Music Hall. Any other gigs, like, out further away coming up?
I think it's kind of like we said, we're kind of focusing right now on new material in our original music and trying to make sure that we have something new to offer to people before we start planning on, again, the touring is like self-funded for us. So any of the money that we're making throughout the year, we have to be really careful about how we allocate that. Merchandise we need, recording time costs money, sending out tracks to get mastered and all that. But aside from that, like, we'll definitely be going up, like, taking weekend trips to Vermont and, like, South Carolina's easy enough for us to get down to. But until we have, like, really, like, more to offer, it's almost not, like, monetarily worth it to be, like, getting Airbnbs, hotel rooms, renting vehicles to drive and lug 7 people and all of our gear. You know, and a lot of time we do end up getting places that they require you to set up your own sound and run your own sounds. Like, if we're not careful, and we are trying to hit places in between on the way back up. Say, like, you go down to New Orleans and you want to stop and make your gas or your food or whatever on the way back and play wherever you're gonna go. Like, music venues are ideal, but I mean, there are a lot of bars down there that are that people love music, so it's no different.
We don't make any money.
Yeah.
It's a loss type scenario. But
yeah, it's really it's a tough thing of, like, when you first get out there. You know, we were talking about it recently. Like, we reached this mark in our, like, little career here where, like, when we started out, we were in a bedroom and we were like, we want to, like, play some gigs, and we played some gigs and we were like, realized we had a little bit of steam going, and we were like, you know, I think we could really make some noise locally, and we did, and, like, which was awesome, and it's been really fun. But now we're, like, back at the bottom of the totem pole, kind of, because we're trying to move up into this next, you know, upper echelon, which is still, like, you know, not the upper echelon, but significantly
the next level.
Yeah, the next level from where we're at now, and, like, you're at the bottom again. You know, we achieved what we wanted to, and now we're at the bottom. We got to take a step back and plan and, like, you know, figure out how we're going to do this.
Totally. So who helps run the band, like, business-wise? I mean, you talked about, like, budgeting and getting merch and tour and stuff like that. Who's running that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a team effort.
It's a team effort, but I do a lot of it.
Yeah.
Overseeing, I guess, is the word.
Right.
But yeah, pretty much any show we've played, we've split equally, or we decide to just bank it, just save it for when we want to hit the road, or you know, we bought a lot of stuff over the course of the how many years we've been doing this now, you know.
New
Right.
PA equipment.
PA,
stuff like that.
yeah, subs to microphones and
Yep.
stands, and
Right.
I bought a fog machine one time.
We're not allowed to use
That we
Yeah.
used in the bar. Like we used that fog machine in PK Shamrocks and told people they were allowed to just come squeeze the button. if they wanted to. And like by the end of it, we like the fire department probably should.
That's pretty sweet. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you're at a little bit like, you know, you got a advantage, right? Like to have a band your size and obviously add horns and everything, that's a huge advantage for a live band and like a party vibe band. But like, it's so much easier to be one dude with an acoustic guitar and go out and hit the road. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
cheap and an easy way to get around. So it's like, it's tough to balance both things, you know?
So we have some good friends in this band, Deltaphonic, and they're two guys. It's a drummer and a guitar
Right.
player, and they've been playing around the country for years now.
Yep.
And because they can make, you know, like $300 or $400 in between two of you. That's
Right.
pretty good.
Right. Totally.
You know, where for 7 of us, that ain't really gonna work.
Right. Exactly.
You know, but we're definitely happy with where we are and everything we've done.
That's killer.
I mean, we have our little arguments here or there, just like any normal person or friend or band.
Right.
We all agree pretty easily on doing things together,
Mm.
and
I don't think anyone's ever doubted like what we wanted to do, or you know, like we've always known what we like. This is what we got to do it. Let's do it.
Right.
Like we're all pretty much on the same page, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Yeah, able to keep our eyes on the prize.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And who's the like? How's the writing process work? That's another tough thing with that many people,
That's
right?
something else that's kind of transformed a little bit over the years. The writing process started out as basically me, Mongo, TJ, Matt in a room, just like bashing our heads together until we've made something that sounds like music, and which we still do that sometimes too. I mean, it's in the age of technology. You know, I have like a studio set up at my apartment and in my room, and like Johnny has one and Durs has one, and like so now it's like kind of transformed into like we have like solid ideas that are already like kind of somewhat like rough recording,
Right.
that we bring in and say like, all right, this is an idea, and then everybody takes the parts from it and tinkers with them and makes them their own, and then it comes together and becomes a song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys feel like playing a little? See what we can do in the studio here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alright,
we'll
cool.
probably do that.
What do you want to play as a starter? Are you going to play some new stuff? Some
I think do what you want.
sweet.
Yeah, it's a newer song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Written earlier this year? Or
Yeah,
early?
yeah.
Early in the spring?
we got it together a little while ago. It's one of my favorite songs. But
Cool. All right, we'll check out a little Do What You Want. Let's see how this crazy idea about recording in a podcast studio works out, all right? What's going on? So while we're waiting, we got Paul Muscio in the house. He's the owner of Red Bank Cryotherapy. What's going on, Paul?
I think I'm gonna go live on my Instagram here.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
You know?
Got me stuck.
You're waiting for the call.
It is delayed. We should point it that way.
What's that?
We should move the camera that way.
Yeah, I think you will.
Not on the right side. Not on the right side.
I'll try not to just blast your ears, Matt.
Oh yeah.
Mongo, give me a B flat.
Would you want that mic closer?
Yeah.
Probably smart.
We have a funky cable here, so we're just switching it out. This one's just not working. You ready? Let's do it. Oh, did I take? Oh, sorry. Just kidding. Sorry, we're not ready. All right. Now we're ready. Baby girl, you know you're driving me crazy. The way you shake it got me feeling elated. And I can tell by the way that you move that you're the kind of girl you put up into my groove. And it's the way that you walk, baby. It's the way
with your style. And I can tell by the way that you move that you're the kind of girl to put up into my groove. And it's the way that you are, baby. And it's the way that you talk, baby. I can tell by the stuff that you flaunt that you're the kind of girl who do what you want. It's the way that you are, baby. And it's the way that you talk, baby. And I can tell by the stuff that you flaunt that you're the kind of girl who do what you want.
That was actually really cool. We've never done this before. That was really cool. Yeah, that was awesome.
How hard is that to hear each other and that kind? That's the other thing you never think about. Like you guys got to hear what each other are playing and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was easy. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Yeah.
That's sweet. I mean, it sounded killer.
Not that we
Yeah,
can't.
like a normal live environment, everything just gets drowned out by the drums. So
We
we've dealt with some bad sounds.
Yeah, I don't know if we really started like from nothing. So like when I say nothing, like monitors and live sound and being able to hear each other was never even an
We used
option.
to run
Like,
entire shows out of this.
the vocal mics, like everything out of this little tiny
We had
speaker.
2 keyboard amps and we were running horns, vocals, guitars,
Yeah.
bass, and
I was
keys
singing
out
out of a
of
bass
2
amp.
of them.
Yeah,
We
like
played a wedding, which we said we'd do for free. And we would play a wedding basically like that. Like I was singing out of a bass amp.
Were you really?
no PA system. Yeah.
No way.
PA system.
So we're pretty used to it. It
That's
works.
cool.
Yeah, it
All right,
works.
so you shouldn't have been shocked when we asked you to play in a podcast studio.
No, you're probably right. We knew we'd make it work.
All right, that's cool. You want to just keep rolling with some more stuff?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, please.
I think, maybe Big Black Dog.
Yeah, that would translate.
Yeah, Big Black Dog will be a good acoustic one. This is a song that we wrote about our dog. Shark Attack. We'll do Shark Attack. We'll scratch Big Black. Ready? You guys ready? It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
I was 25, going 85, down 95 to Casino Drive. You see the moon, it's out too soon. What can you do? Just move on through. You say what you say to me, you say what you wanna be. I'm looking for the right time, we're in disguise. You say what you say to me, you say what you wanna be. I'm looking for the right time, when we swim we rise. Yes we are so very hungry. Yes we are so very hungry. And we on a mission. We're coming after you. 'Cause like Shark Attack, we gonna get ya and bring you under soon. These sharks are swimming in the high tide. Oh, watch out. These sharks are feeding in the nighttime. You were 22, what can you do? It's up to you in the life you choose. And I can't believe what you did to me. Now I can see very clearly. You say what you say to me, you say what you wanna be. I'm looking for the right time, we're in disguise. You say what you say to me, you say what you wanna be. I'm looking for the right time, that's when we rise. Yes we are so very hungry. Yes we are so very hungry. And we on a mission. Coming after you. 'Cause like Shark Attack, we gonna get you and bring you under soon. These sharks are swimming in the high tide. Oh, watch out. These sharks are feeding in the nighttime.
That was sick, man. Paul's phone just overheated from that song, actually. That's totally cool. I saw you guys play that this summer on the boardwalk. You played the whatever the thing. Yeah. And I was like, damn, this is my friggin' theme song, man. It was like, however it starts, it's like I was 25 doing 85 down 95 or something like that. It's like, hell yeah, man. And then it's a total jam. And then what's the next part? 22, what can you do?
Yeah,
What's this song all about?
22, so long story short,
Right.
we're actually all pretty much water rats. Like, we grew up on the beach, but I'm a big swimmer. I did competitive swimming at the Red Bank Y actually for a long time.
Right.
Anyway, we have a fascination for ocean swimming, sharks, fish, all that stuff.
Right.
And then the song is essentially about us growing up in the house. Like, it's like when we first moved into the house. I was 25. Casino Drive is the house, like the street of the house. And we honestly, like he was saying earlier, like it went from playing in a bedroom to playing, like last summer we were playing 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
Like, I feel like it was like 3 or 4 years we were playing every week somewhere up until recently. So we were playing a lot, and it's kind of just like the aggressive attitude of a shark and the aggressive attitude of us trying to play all the freaking time. And
Right.
and
We're gonna attack.
yeah.
So do you feel like that's your theme song as a band? Like you
As of
like
now, yeah.
just like
That's
throw it
now.
on and strut around a little bit?
A little
Like,
bit.
baby.
Yeah, it definitely fires me up listening to it.
I love that tune, man. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's what I mean. I feel like people can relate to it
Right.
a little bit.
That's
like
cool.
growing up on the Jersey Shore and stuff, you know.
Right. Very cool. All right, so tell me a little bit about what you're playing on percussion over there. What do you? Yeah, is it actually an instrument, or is it? Did you just throw an LP sticker on it?
I just brought this box in and slapped an LP sticker on it, and it's an instrument now. No,
So
it's a cajon. It's an acoustic instrument that you can say. I meant to bring like a bass drum attachment for it, but totally forgot about it.
No, it sounds good because you get.
But yeah, I was gonna do like a whole like thing, but it has like a deep. You can get like I was doing like a bass, kind of like just keeping like the
Right.
the rhythm going, like doing like on the bass and then like a snare essentially. But yeah, it's just like it's a rhythmic instrument. Some people are really good at playing it. I'm not like the most percussive. Like I don't know too like I play a lot of percussive instruments. It's definitely like a very fine art. You
Right.
know, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a percussionist. But I made it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's fun. You can just groove on it. You know, like you can just get the groove going.
No, it sounded cool, and you get different sounds out of it.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, like I said, I don't usually do this, so I was kind of like making it up on the way. Like I was like, I was getting. Well, I got tripped up once or twice, but I figured it out.
That's cool.
But yeah, I usually play the kit. I mean, like they said, I've been the only drummer. I'm actually the only drummer who has ever played for Waiting on Mongo. Everyone else here has missed a gig. I have never missed a gig.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, kidding.
No, but seriously, and through all of like the switching of instruments and stuff like that, we never switched with Matt.
Yeah.
Probably.
No,
good.
you missed one gig when we did the Jets tailgate.
Oh, that's right.
But that wasn't a gig. I had work.
Tailgate, not a gig.
Yeah.
That's a funny story too.
Yeah.
That's a whole other
That's a
story.
really
We
good
don't need to get into
story.
it.
Yeah.
So what happened?
One of our first,
We got all night, man.
This was when we were still in that like.
Durs wasn't here yet.
Yeah, Durs wasn't in the band yet. It was just the 4 of us.
Barely.
barely even like. Again, like what we were doing was like playing, but I mean, was it really though? Like we were like playing songs, like yeah, we didn't have any microphones or anything, so like we're playing songs, we're not singing them. Like there's nothing to sing out of. Like
Right.
we were just running through songs and stuff, and like this dude that was all like stoked on us, he was a local guy, and like was really stoked to see us
still better than us.
Yeah, he's still, yeah.
Even though we didn't go play his tailgate.
He still loves us, but he wanted us to come up and play. He's a huge Jets fan. He wanted us to come play the tailgate at the Jets game.
It's awesome.
We probably all inherently didn't really even want to do it, but we were in this position where we're young kids and we're we don't want to say no to this guy.
Right.
He's
gonna buy us tickets to the game.
Right. We want us to go to the game with him. This whole thing. And, Matt was just oh shoot, I have work at 3 and the game's it's a 1 o'clock game.
Right.
It's the 1 o'clock game.
Right.
So we had to leave Matt behind, so we're going with no drummer. Luckily, that was the first instrument I ever learned how to play was the drums, so I could kind of get us by. There were a couple dudes at the tailgate who you gotta play the drums, but we're playing My Morning Jacket and mellow stuff, and this dude's I can play Slipknot and Slayer,
Right.
and we're all right, let's do it too. She jumps up with us, we made it work. I mean, again, like I said,
That's
we
funny.
kind of figure out how to make it work.
And then what's that scene like? Does it draw a lot of people in a lot up there?
No, I mean, it was.
I've been dying to do a Giants tailgate.
Dude,
Right.
the Giants were good though.
And they do bands up at the stadium though. If you
Yeah.
go to a game, they have a little stage right by the front doors that
Oh,
they'll
is there?
do live bands right before the game
Right.
starts.
Yeah,
That's cool.
maybe one
I've
day.
seen it before. It's usually I walked by during a Giants game and a guy was covering chicken fried or something like that.
Yeah, top 40.
Do something
You could email the Giants, Pat Hanlon at the Giants, just email him and say you want to play.
perfect. Let's
Yeah.
His email address.
I'll tag him in a comment on this video.
Yeah,
See if
Pat
we can
Hanlon,
pressure him
wanna-
into getting
Yeah,
us.
it looks like you're looking for some entertainment,
We'll try and get him to let us do a halftime show at the Giants.
Yeah.
Let's fill it as
Hey,
Radio
let us
Obama
get on
does the
to
halftime
the
show.
Knicks
Right.
halftime MSG music.
Yeah, that would
they're
be
in
really
between
too.
on ESPN and all that.
MSG,
cool.
yeah, MSG
Thanks to
goes
Stripe.
back
They were
to
all
halftime,
Giants
too.
fans, right?
Yeah.
So
Everyone
then-
was a Jets fan here.
No. No.
Mike, what's it like for you playing acoustic as opposed to electric? You enjoy it, or
Extremely difficult.
is it?
Very difficult. It's making me look real bad.
You sound good.
No, I mean, this is actually the first guitar that I ever bought and purchased with my own money.
Really?
My parents bought me one, my first ever one, which is still at their house. It was an acoustic guitar. I think it was when I was 18 years old on Christmas. They got me this guitar.
Right.
And then the next year I bought this one. So this guitar is probably gonna be 8 years old or something like that. So needless to say, and it's got all types of scratches and dings in it. I'm a very big offender of leaving my guitar in the car overnight, which is
Right.
people would bash me for that, which rightfully so. But this thing has been through it all. It is not in very good shape.
Right.
But it works, and I love this guitar. For a $400 pick the one right off the wall at Guitar Center, it went miles for me.
That's cool.
I mean, everything I learned on this guitar.
Nice.
So it feels horribly difficult right now, but it does kind of feel like home in a way.
That's
It's
cool.
one of my favorite guitars.
Nice. And so Anders and Johnny, what's it like playing, horns in what kind of music are you guys into?
Everything. Yeah.
I mean, do you follow are there more sax players you're into that maybe aren't this type of music, or did you always picture yourself bringing horns to this style of music?
I guess I never really did picture myself bringing horns to this style of music ever. Like we had mentioned, my brother and I and our other brother, the three of us have always had something going on playing in the band where...
Who actually lent us this cajon, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah.
Shout
Harry.
out to Harry.
Shout out
Shout
Harry.
out to Harry.
Not mine.
Thanks, Harry.
We're a bunch of scammers here.
That's right.
But we were doing more progressive rock, kind of psychedelic rock, almost on a heavier side, Muse or something, or
Right.
that kind of stuff. And I play a lot of guitar still, and I took guitar, piano, saxophone,
All the lessons.
some vocals. My whole family, even John and Harris, the three of us, we've just been doing music our whole lives. So
I can't ever really say that I ever really thought about it, but I did. I went through the band program at school. I was drum major at my high school. Like I did jazz band, all shore, concert band, all shore. Like done all the classical music. So like growing up learning the saxophone, I was playing like Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, that kind of stuff. A lot of like big band stuff like Duke Ellington. But like the stuff that really interested me to continue to play would have been like Clarence Clemens on saxophone, for instance, or like Tower Power, Earth, Wind and Fire, like all that. Anything where like it was like you could tell there was a lot of feel there. Like it was exciting for me. That was what was exciting for me for horns.
Right.
So when I met these guys, it really was just. I think I played saxophone on one song for that set, and it was Sultans of Swing. I just ripped a saxophone solo.
Really?
That's right. Played along with the song, and caught these guys, and I figured, well, if I'm gonna play in a band, like they are kind of funky, like I could get in there, we could do some like P-Funk or George Clinton style kind of stuff. Like they want to be a party bands or whatever. I had no real preconceived notions of joining them, but at the time, I was like not really looking to be in a jam band.
Right.
But, you know, it was
labeled.
It was.
We introduced him to Phish and made him listen to the Grateful Dead.
Johnny's been to a couple Phish shows this year.
Yeah.
I didn't like Phish at first, and then a couple years of playing with them.
Really?
Yeah, Phish had never been my thing, but I do like going to see them now. It's cool.
And like honestly, like, and it still like kind of surprised me to this day though, like how when you came in, like it was just like it was perfect right away. Like you bring people into a situation where it's like, all right, like you know you kind of have like a couple like interests in in common and stuff like that, and like, but Durs, you came in and like was just like part of the group right away.
Right.
Like right away. To this point, like. You know, if you're talking like founding members of the band and stuff like that, and the real like inception of the band, I would say like we didn't really become Waiting on Mongo until like Durs was in there with us.
That's
sure.
cool.
And then like Johnny came in, and obviously he's his brother, so like that was.
I had an in.
That's right.
Yeah. Johnny came in to help us record for that first for Just a Taste, and that's when Johnny joined. Same
That's
thing
cool.
with Bruce as well.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it adds a sweet flavor. Definitely, it's cool.
I mean, we say it all the time. We were kind of like, and we all know what we're doing on our instruments, but we were kind of Joe Schmoes, and then we brought in the horns, and it was like that energy is just unreal.
Right.
I mean, the brass, the whole thing is just so big. Like that's what TJ always had this vision for us. You know, it's this huge band, like 1 million people. Horns galore and singers and all that stuff.
Double drum.
Which like we're still getting there. Who knows?
You need a bus, right, to
That's
get around,
cool.
right?
Yeah, the first time we toured was in a 31-foot RV.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Everybody in there.
That's cool.
We have like 9
people in
people
a
in there.
stinky RV. Parked on the lower east side of the bayou, or was the lower?
Parked in the lower 9 on
Lower 9
on our
lower
buddy's
9's
front
board.
yard, like literally right on the Mississippi River.
Nice.
So it was
Spiritual.
yeah. I think we drove nonstop in like 18 hours
New Orleans. Yeah.
to New Orleans.
Dude, we
We
went
got
out when we
there.
got in there. Like we got in at like
just
2
went
o'clock
out.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Kieran was playing, our
Yeah,
Delphonic
our
crew.
buddies Delta 5 were playing.
We're like,
just
yeah, so we were so
started
stoked.
No
we gotta,
way.
And we were like, you can't sleep.
That's cool.
Standing up, passing out. Like,
That's cool. All right, what do you guys feel like doing? You want to pack your gear up, or you want to play us out?
Play it out.
Yeah, we can do it. Right?
Sweet.
Should we do the new instrumental or Had Enough? Had Enough might be kind of tough acoustic.
That could be tough.
Why don't we do the new instrumental one? Right? Ready?
What's it called?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. New instrumental.
Yeah.
Sweet. So is that something you're going to put out as a single? Was that one of the things you recorded, or is just a new instrumental you're working on in general?
That'll probably hit later on.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. All right, sweet. I totally appreciate you guys coming in. That was killer.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the effort for playing and everything. That was really cool. I mean, it's really funny, like looking around the studio, like the absurdity of like of a band here is hilarious, but it sounds really killer. So definitely encourage everyone to go check out mongo.band and on Instagram at Waiting on Mongo. The band will be at House of Independence, headlining November 8th. Still tickets available. Buy tickets online. Also, December 13th, Rockwood Music Hall, Stage 2. Check them out. And some new music coming soon. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you
All right.
much.
Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.